I am a strong believer that as a nation, we do not shower enough.
Welcome to Out of Office with Kim. I'm your host, Kimberley Cumberbatch. We have a wonderful guest today, a very special one, right? Some call you Sunscream or Sunscream. Ooh. Yeah, love that. Esthetician extraordinaire. Introduce yourself, darling.
Oh, I am Alicia Lartey. I think today I'll go with the fact that I'm not an esthetician today. I'm coming here as the head of NPD and education for Smooth Operator. That's the name of the product. For Supernova Body. I've had a long day. It's an Australian brand, but that's what I've been doing today. So we'll go with that.
What is a head of NPD?
So basically, NPD stands for New Product Development, and within that there'll be like chemists that I work with, manufacturers that I work with, people that do the packaging, marketing, all of that to like bring a whole product to life. So I'm the head of all of those things, which is a very scary.
It's very serious.
It's very serious. Would you believe that this is my first corporate job?
Ever?
Yeah.
Ever in life?
Like ever. I've done it. Does an internship count?
No.
Okay, then yeah, this is my first corporate. This is my first like big girl job.
Okay, yeah. We're gonna work our way up to the big girl job. Okay. But let's start at the very beginning. Tell me, what was your first job and what did you learn from that first job?
That is such. I think I worked in New Look.
So did I. That was my first job as well.
Really? Okay, so I did Stratford, the old Stratford.
Yep.
Yeah. So I did that through NCS. So at the end of it, they got everyone like job interviews and it was cute. I think the main thing that I actually learned was, one, don't get in a relationship with people that you work with.
Never.
Because I saw some fights from the staff, which was always entertaining, meant that I didn't have to deal with the customers. And two, the way they ran their business was so interesting. So we won't do that again because New Look's like, is it? I'm not sure if it's still around.
It is.
But it's shut down in a lot of like
a lot of places.
stores.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like everyone's suffering, but the way they just ran the store was insane.
My first job was Christmas Temp New Look in Charlton to be exact, and what I learned from that was that's not for me. Why? Standing up for long periods of time.
Awful.
Why would anyone want to do that's horrible. And then there's bits where like when you work in retail there are bits where there isn't actually anything to do and you're just picking things up and refolding them. That is not a real life for me personally.
It was just like it reminded me that there's a lot of pointless moments of my day and I need that to stop. I either need to like lay down or watch something, but not just stand there like twiddling hangers. And it's mainly because like, you'll have that one like micromanager that's just on you to do something. Otherwise, you're not a team player, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, forget that.
And then you won't get your shifts and then you just get treated like so badly. So yeah, New Look was a time. But I worked at Peacock's when New Look shut down. So that was worse. Oh. That was genuinely worse. Peacock's, I will never forget. Like the toilet was... I didn't go to the toilet for hours during the day.
Obviously, you've since moved from the retail sphere. Tell me about your introduction to skincare. How did you even know you wanted to do that?
I had really bad acne, like severe acne. I've been on Accutane twice.
Tell me more.
So when I was, let's say 13, I have PCOS. So a side effect of having PCOS is acne for some people. And I had it all over my face, my chest and my back. And it was very, very bad. And I think at my core, I'm a little bit superficial. And I just did not want to deal with it anymore. So I cried and moaned to my mum about like everything that I possibly could. And I begged her to get me Dermalogica. And it was like £100 and something a month. Like back in the day when money used to be actual money. Yeah. Like that was still quite, that was a lot of money.
£100 was a lot.
For me, like now that I understand like finances as an adult, like buying your child £100 and something worth of skincare a month is insane work.
Yes, I do agree.
So we were like, we need a solution. So I did the antibiotics, I did the topical creams, and then like the actual big daddy of acne products is Accutane. Yep. So in the UK it's called Roaccutane. Or isotretinoin. In America it's called Accutane. So you take that once a day? No, I was on a really high dose actually because my acne was that bad, but I took that for about 6 months, had the clearest skin I've ever had in my entire life. 2 years later then it came back. So went on it again. Since then I've kind of like self-managed it at home, and I'm a very independent queen. I don't like being told no. I like to be able to do everything myself within reason. So my like first step into skincare was I want to know what I'm doing for myself.
Interesting.
But then someone actually cussed me out on Twitter and called me an unqualified skincare enthusiast, and I was like, bet, let me go and get some qualifications. That was your origin story. I built my career out of spite, essentially.
Good.
Yeah.
And what did that entail? How did you get to where you are now?
So whilst I was at uni, I was not enjoying it.
What did you study?
Biomedical science. It was not. No. It's not for me. It's not.
Take the snaps back.
Yeah,
put the snaps away. Okay.
Put the snaps away. But I decided to go to beauty school whilst I was there, and then through that, I started posting online, just speaking about skin, mainly looking for just other people to talk to outside of the uni bubble. And then from there, people were like, "Oh my god, no, she's actually saying some stuff." So it kind of just spiraled. One day I woke up and I was writing something for Refinery 29, and one day I was writing stuff. Do you remember Melissa's Wardrobe had a blog?
Yes.
Yes, I used to write for It's a Lifestyle Hun as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So obviously that was skincare. What kind of things were within your blogs? What kind of topics were we covering?
Like from laser hair removal to having a breast reduction to having like just basic skincare stuff of what people really need to know, because I feel like in the UK we actually don't know that much about skincare for ourselves day to day.
I don't disagree. I had a very similar growing up. I am what I call a rashy kid. Yeah, I'm just like anything touches this skin rash. I was just one of those little eczema little babies, and I had acne as well. So growing up, I was always in the GP, every cream under the sun. Yeah. One day, I don't know what happened. I think I just grew out of it, I suppose. But it's interesting how for you, that was like your origin story. What did I do with it? Nothing, to be honest. I just went with the shape. But I didn't know what.
Amazing.
That is makeup, baby.
But it looks really good. I think a lot of the times when people are looking at the skin and saying, "Oh, it's not amazing," like I've seen so many types of skin, and your skin looks good.
Thank you. That really heals my inner child. But you're right. Like even in those times, I was putting on so many products. There was a time I had something. It was like a roll, and I remember it was peeling. This was when I was like 15. It was actually peeling my skin. I remember that day thinking, Kim, you're just putting anything on your face because you're so desperate. Mean? It was like peeling the first layers.
What do you mean by a roll?
It was quite serious.
Roll of what?
It was like you know when something like an armpit roller. Kind of like that, but it was like a pad and you rubbed it on every day and then it was burning the skin. Okay. So to add to your point, I didn't know what I was putting on the face. Yeah, because you just the GP gives you something and you just put something on. Exactly. You're not going to start breaking down. Yeah. So anyways, what kind of qualifications do you need for your current job?
Oh, well, I mean, it's so varied. Like, if you've got, so I think experience is like one of the greatest teachers. A lot of theoretical things are fine. Obviously get all the science down and all the knowledge that you can, but experience can kind of just get you to where you need to be. I've only just enrolled in a cosmetic science course and actually started doing what I would consider like the qualification that like
what is
gets
it called?
You. So it's the SCS diploma and it's for cosmetic science. Amazing. So that's about, I think it's a year or 2 years. So
okay,
it feels like uni again. I opened it and I was like, timetable, I feel like a child.
Are you going to lessons? What's the situation?
Honestly, girl, I have no idea. I said yes and I was like, I actually don't know what I've really signed up for. But it was actually a friend that told me years ago. She was like, I think you should do this course. And I was like, I can't see myself doing like another round of like intense education again.
But what does it cover?
So it will cover formulation. Nice. So that covers like, let's say teeth, like toothpaste formulation, perfumes, skincare and hair care, I believe.
That's so everything.
Basically everything. But I will like obviously only do skincare because like I don't really care about teeth.
Yeah, you don't care about the other
really
things.
Like dentists as people.
No, okay. I've just realised I've not done your buzz question today.
Oh, yeah. What's this?
You've got a special buzz question. Buzz question is actually to break the ice, but guess what? The ice is already broken.
I saw you last week, babe.
I did see you last week, but should we re-break it?
Let's break
right, your question is, are you ready? It's actually very simple. Okay. What beauty trend do you currently hate?
I feel like right now we're in a phase of like deep levels of mediocrity. Like everything is really boring. I think this is like, obviously there's like late stage capitalism, but I feel like we're in late stage skincare. It takes a while to innovate. It's really expensive. If you want to push things through and get them, I guess, approved as drugs as well, so they can be like pharmaceuticals, then that's an even longer process. So right now I think a lot of brands are just faffing in between just like adding a scent here,
Okay.
changing the color of something here. Everyone's done too much with their brands at the moment, I think, for facial skincare. So I feel like I'm just bored. I'm a little bit bored of what's coming out. I think I've picked up on the best things that have come out, but like towards the end of the year, I'm like sitting there panicking, twiddling my fingers, thinking, what am I going to post about next week?
I get what you mean.
There's not like loads that excites me, especially in the UK. A lot more of the fun stuff is in America.
So what does excite you in the UK?
I think the exciting aspect is the fact that it's a new space for skincare to be in. So there's that whole fun journey of educating people from the beginning, whereas in America, they're like seen it all, done it all, what's next?
I do think they are ahead of us. Why are we so behind?
I don't know what the reason is, but I want to link it to stripper culture, which sounds very insane.
Do you know what? I'm going to let you land that plane.
Because I feel like they skin out a lot more in America, so they care about the way they look. For them, I guess beauty is like social mobility that can take someone from essentially having healthcare to not having healthcare.
Okay.
Depending on how you look, like you can change your entire life. Here, not so much. We're more of like a class-based area in the UK. So I think they do really take beauty so much more seriously in America. Like everything's bigger, better, bolder with them. And obviously they've got all the stars and like actual stars, not random. Like, you know when people. It's like, oh, this is a celeb episode, and you're like, who hell is this? That?
We do have a lot of that. I think because obviously with the D list and below, and they are basically A-list here.
Exactly.
I do get it. So let's talk a little bit about obviously MPD Supernova. You just had your Naturium edit, which was, I came to the lunch, amazing. I also just want to give you your flowers right now, because you're an influencer to me, whether you like that or not. But like the things that you say to buy, I buy, right? The other day, the little scalp Eucerin, I bought that. I think like the way that I see you in terms of skincare in the UK, you are that girl. Like, and obviously I'm sure that's taking a long journey, but I want to talk a little about the journey. What are the steps? Where did we go?
Ooh, I think the steps are, or creating who you want to be in like the skincare spaces. You can either go down the very aesthetic side of things and be someone that just posts about pretty things, like your little reviews, all of that. You can get into the nitty gritty science aspect of it, take that science side so far, so then your page is not really like, I guess, consumer friendly. Or you can kind of be somewhere in the middle and then add a bit more of a friendly touch. But I will say I'm very opinionated, and I feel like I've kind of grown even more opinionated, but then that's given me like this, okay, you're going to Alicia because you're going to get this type of answer from her, and it's very distinct. Whereas I think now, like obviously there's so many creators, and I love that there's so many different types of opinions that we have now, but sometimes I guess when you're going a bit more on the aesthetic side, it can get really lost. But my plan is always about longevity and being slow but building a community rather than a following.
And is your approach to, because you review a lot of products, right? You obviously have your, which is my favorite, sunscreen or sunscreen, where you basically review sunscreens, which is also amazing because I feel like the conversation relating to sun SPF within the Black community is kind of a new conversation, which is shocking. But you know what? I'll actually put my hands up as well. I never wore sunscreen growing up. I was going to Jamaica all the time. I never wore sunscreen. No one talked about it. We just went melanin and stuff. But obviously now, so my question is, do you like, how do you do it? Do you do the reviews and then the hope is to work with the brand? What is your recipe?
So I always say I have absolutely no loyalty to any brand.
Tell them.
All. The only one that I will say that I have loyalty is Supernova, but then that's a bit more of a different case.
Yep.
But everyone, it's a free-for-all. Anyone can get it. If the product's not good, then it's not good. So I like to go from the education side of things, tell people what it does, what it's supposed to do, what the brand has claimed that it will do, how I've interacted with it, and then who it might be best suited for, because obviously I don't have the same skin type as everybody else. So that's my approach. Now it can get a bit more fun when it's like a holy grail favorite that I'll show people like how to use it in different ways, how to get the best out of it, price comparisons, all of that stuff. But I feel like at the moment, the reason that I actually started sunscreen or sunscreen is because you can't review skincare as quickly as you review makeup. You need to try it for a really long time.
Of course.
And sunscreen, obviously, you can tell how you feel about something fairly quick. So I give myself, I would say 7 sessions of wear for a sunscreen for me to decide how I feel about it before I make my episode for the week. So I was actually getting a lot more content out that way rather than having to wait like months for me to like review.
See how your skin responds to it. Do you know what? I've never even thought about that. Yeah. You can put lip gloss on and say, yeah, this is my lip gloss. Put skincare on. How long do they say you should wait to see if it's skincare, how it sits with you?
On each type of product. So for example, if it's a product for hyperpigmentation, I would say like a month minimum. I don't want to hear from anyone unless it's been a month.
And if it's been like, let's say since April and nothing's happened, should I let that product go, hypothetically?
Let it go. Okay. I think there's different types of hyperpigmentation as well that people aren't super aware of.
Yep.
If your hyperpigmentation is really deep in your skin and it's got like maybe a purplish tint, greyish tint to it, you're going to want to move towards the like the actual serious big boy treatments, the prescriptions. So cosmetics and prescriptions can kind of deal with, I guess, 2 different phases of your skincare life. When it's extremely serious, that's when you move to the prescriptions. Cosmetics, it's definitely more surface level.
Goodness gracious me. We'll do a consultation. Right. Let me do you know what? Let's do a little consultation now. Yes. Yeah. So I'm gonna get really vulnerable right now. So I get hyperpigmentation on my chin, right? Where hairs grow. Yeah, I have hair on my chin. Yeah, cool. And they obviously get stuck, obviously. I've been trying a well-known brand.
Okay.
Well-known black brand.
Okay.
It's not worked. I started it in April. Today is whatever month it is. What do you think about that?
So
is that not right for me?
Do you still get the hairs occasionally?
Yes.
So that's your first point of
So
call.
What I will also, I've since booked some laser sessions to tackle the hair, because the hair is obviously the issue. But how do I get rid of the scarring?
So that will take a bit of time.
Oh God,
how deep are you into your laser?
I've had 1 session.
Okay, so I would say after 3 sessions, that's when you start noticing a bit of a difference.
Okay.
I even find that laser slightly exfoliates the skin. That's why I prefer it to electrolysis.
Ooh.
It looks a lot smoother. I used to have like a full-blown beard.
Really?
Like my PCOS is quite severe. So like I had hair here, here. Like I've had about, let's say, over 50 laser sessions on my face. Yeah, because it will keep coming back with hormones. But from said brand, because I think I know what it is, I would actually prefer their rolly looking thing.
Was advertised.
Is that what you've been...
No, but somebody close to me told me yesterday that I should try the rolly thing of the said brand, because the cream, I don't think it's doing anything for me.
So I would say the rolly thing, and another thing that I really like for like pigmentation that's around the mouth or like this area as well, is azelaic acid. I cannot shut up about azelaic acid.
Is it scary? It's gonna peel my skin off? Because that's what I'm worried
about. For some
about.
people it
you
may.
See?
That's the
issue. You got to give the trigger warnings.
Yeah, it can make your skin feel a bit like crepey if it's a very high percentage of the azelaic acid. So like 15-20%, then you'll start feeling a bit of dryness, but you can easily combat that just with a good moisturizer. It doesn't have to be expensive. E45 type vibes.
E45. Yeah. All right, I need to plug back in. See, I love this little consultation. That's what I need. And this is also why I love your content, because I feel like you also understand. You're a black woman, I'm a black woman.
Yeah.
And the way that you approach skincare is obviously different to your average, maybe, person, shall we say. And I appreciate that you're also reviewing things that have actually helped you as an individual, as opposed to just reviewing, any old things. Have you found like any specific barriers in your career thus far?
Do you know what? When I first like trained for like being an esthetician and went to beauty school, I was the only black person that was like, I need to do treatments on black people type of vibes. And it's really annoying because you always hear that black people are not included in studies or things like that. It's the same thing in beauty school. The way they talk about Fitzpatrick 5 and 6, is almost like
What
we're
is that?
aliens. Oh, sorry.
Is that skin tone?
Yes. So Fitzpatrick scale, it goes from 1 to 6. The guy that did it, I think he's like a little bit racist, but like we still use it to this day, like a lot of things. Yeah,
the origin of most things.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like Fitzpatrick 1 is very fair, very light, will definitely burn in the sun, and then Fitzpatrick 5 and 6 would be like you and me.
5 and 6. So where are the other numbers?
So all the ones in the middle are like the like very middle shades that you'd see in like Superdrug. You know those shades that they'd be like, oh well, we do have stuff for black people, and then it's like very very pale.
So where's the 8 and 9 and 10?
Oh no, it stops at 6. Yeah,
and we're so 6.
We would be in the okay. So that's the thing. According to like, let's say who like a like OG beautician, they'd be like, you and me would be in like category 6. However, we both know that there's many people that are significantly it's like I'm looking at you and my mum are not the same skin tone at all. So like, what does that even mean? But
so those skin tones aren't even included in
included. Have they even thought, even us, like when it comes to doing like clinical trials and all of those different types of trials, we are not there. We're not present a lot of the time. So I will say I changed that for Supernova.
How did you do that?
Obviously, I'm in charge of it. So I get to be like, well, I want a lot of Fitzpatrick 4, 5 and 6. So where's the 4, 5s and the 6? Because I honestly feel like when you formulate with deeper skin tones in mind, especially when you're dealing with things like hyperpigmentation, which is harder to shift on deeper skin tones, kind of, then it just works regardless. And you always want to, like, especially for sunscreen as well, you want to be able to represent everyone. It's so much better to have a product that can do like the blanket thing rather than to go back and be like, well, we actually messed up, we didn't even think that you guys existed.
I've seen a lot of that recently.
Exactly.
I've seen a lot, and people are very forgiving as well. Not so much.
No, I hold a grudge. I've held grudges for 8 years for multiple things.
I've just seen a recent does she do lip gloss brand? Yeah.
No, I want to guess. Tell me
more. Guess. Okay, so she something has happened where a lot of creators have called her out to say you've not included darker skinned people.
I hate the
and then
fact
she's
that this is multiple brands.
But you know what? This is actually bare brands, and then she's remade some new shades. I think she does blush as well, but she's most known for gloss that sits in a phone case as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just seen it this week. She got a little bit dragged, but then everyone is saying it's really great that as a brand you've actually learnt from it and changed. How do you feel about that? Because I'm a bit like, darker skinned people exist forever. I just think it's ridiculous to miss them and then be like, oh gosh, so sorry we missed you, let's include you now. We're not new human beings.
That's the thing. But then we kind of are in a lot of spaces to them.
This is very true.
That's because we're not like in back of house doing C-suite stuff, making big decisions. There will often be like one or two black people in a company, but like, do you really want to be the person that's like, actually, let's do this, and then for the rest of your time working there, they treat you terribly? No, you don't want that. So I do get how a lot of these things fall through the cracks, but that's why you don't hire yes men around you. You hire people that will hold you to a standard and be very like eyes on everything, because I don't think you have to be black to have eyes on everything. Like the founder of Supernovas, she's not black. Somebody asked me ages ago, they're like, is she black? Because a lot of the stuff is very like geared towards like people of color or just thinking of everyone else. Like, she's not black, she's just someone that has sense, you know. And
Supernova as a brand, what kind of products do they make?
Body only. We will only ever do body.
Love it.
Yeah, we're very specific.
Is that new as well?
Yes.
Body skincare, which, because I just feel like growing up, it was what your face, include your neck a little bit, that started creeping in, but body, nobody was thinking about how do I help my KP stretch. I mean, actually, you know what, stretch marks I'll give them. Stretch mark has always been a conversation.
That and cellulite, they've always wanted to shave.
But the other, what's all that about?
I think, let's start with the fact that I am a strong believer that as a nation, we do not shower enough, like at all. Again, comparing it to the Americans, I do not feel like we shower enough. Like when I will do surveys and stuff, I will give the option for, let's say, showering 7 times a week would be the standard.
I should hope
and then
so.
And then someone was like, oh, well, I shower like every other day. And I was like, oh, in what sense?
Do you know what? I know this is true, so let me not even try and back and forth, but it is still very outrageous to me. So our first issue is we're dirty. Not us, a nation.
As a nation, I just feel like we just don't shower. Like, you remember the whole washing legs thing?
Yeah, I guess it
was in America as well, but I think because it's cold, people are less inclined to shower often. They cover up a lot more, so they can just do like the whole ostrich thing, head in the sand, don't have to care about like the body skin at all. So no one really cared, but then everyone was kind of like, I guess, suffering in silence. And it kind of got to the stage where when treatments were being offered for the back, like for the like vajacial area, that became really popular.
Oh gosh, designer vagina.
Exactly, designer vagina. Everyone was like, kit off, skin out, mini skirt this, like everything. We found like, oh, okay, maybe like I would like to do something about this particular area of my skin, or maybe it's like acne that's very painful and it's preventing me from like putting my bra strap down, or maybe I've just got like a scarf that I just don't want to like remember for the rest of my life and I want that gone. So then people start thinking, oh, we need the skincare actives on the body, and we're like, say less, we'll do it.
But I think as well, as a lot of British culture, British people don't really speak openly about things. Very hush, hush. There's and to be honest, even thinking about growing up, having things like back knee, nobody wanted to talk about that. Nobody wanted to talk about that. But I'm going to be wearing a cardigan. I'm going to be wearing a cardigan. It's hot.
Or a blazer. I used to wear a blazer when it was so hot because I've got really like severe KP on my arms. It's like, it's a benign thing. Like, it does nothing to me. But like, people used to stroke my arms because it feels bumpy. And they were like, oh, I can help you fix that. And I was like, I am not a cat. I am just a regular human being. And like, it doesn't bother me. So why is this like doing you guys so badly?
And what are some of the key products? Like, what are you guys focusing on for the body?
So I can't say that we're like completely all focused in just treatment, but I will say that we are like in 3 different categories. So improve, maintain, and then treat.
Okay.
Yeah. So maintain, obviously you've got your everyday products, so your moisturizer and then also your body washes.
Nice.
We want them to be better than what they are. Like, it's not enough to just be moisturizing by like the most basic aspect, like glycerin. Glycerin's great. Yeah. Love that ingredient, but we want more. There's so much more that we can do. So you can elevate it with like your scent experience, but in a very sensible way as well. It doesn't have to be essential oils. I'm not a fan of essential oils.
I don't like oils on me in any way.
Really?
No, I don't.
What do you do for body glow? Do you body glow?
It's looking a bit dry.
No, do you know what? I think
I don't. I'm going to be honest.
Everyone does it.
I don't, but I'm going to be honest, I'm a very basic person. Because I was such a rash-prone kid, I'm very stuck in the box. I'm a cocoa butter babe. I'm just going to be honest. I'm a cocoa butter babe, and then I also use something called, I'm just going to forget the name. It's one of those big pumps you get from the pharmacy.
Epiderm.
Cetrabin.
Love Cetrabin.
Because it's thick, and that's just me. But on the topic we're speaking of, I actually want to talk about a trend, and I just want to know if it is true. There's a body care trend where, you know how at the minute everyone has like a 52 face routine. People also have a 52 shower. But like the 52 shower routine, like what is the actual truth? So this is what I think is good, and I'm basic girl. I think this is what I've learned is from TikTok. Antibacterial soap to start. Dove, because the Dettol one too dry. Then I do an everyday normal, you know, whatever, Rayox, whatever, and then Cerium, the body one. What do I have?
Glycolic acid.
Yes, and then that, and then I'm done. Okay. What is actually the truth? Do we need 72 steps in the shower? Give me the tea.
Even for your face, there's 3 key steps. So it's your cleanse, your moisturize, and then your sunscreen. I most of the time have a 2-step routine for my face. Yeah, because it's really 2 steps. And in that cleansing category or in the sunscreen category, I can get some of my active ingredients in there. Okay. So then it's like you don't really need a long routine. A lot of people see it as like more ritualistic, and it's like very like calming for people, very chilling, like all of that stuff. But at the core of it, you'll need something that's antibacterial in the shower. Start there. And then you've got like, let's say your glycolic acid, and then when you come out, your moisturizer, your SPF if you're in the sun, and that's it.
That's it, done. Yeah. But I do think some of the trends on TikTok specifically, I think they're a bit shamey. I think
TikTok is a shamey place. It's a very, very
it's a shamey place. How do you navigate that as obviously a skincare guru? Like,
do I navigate it?
I don't know.
As you can see, my TikTok is very, very, very quiet. I'm not someone that likes to be on that app too tough, only because I feel like TikTok is a very toxic place.
Okay.
And it kind of gives too much room to people that are not experts. Like, it's really good to hear from consumers, but then at the same time, as a consumer, I don't feel like you should be moonlighting as like an expert in any field. So it's cute, but it's also not.
It's cute, but
it's also like I had to be begged to be on TikTok.
Well, you're so good. You're so good on there.
No, but I just don't like. I'll see one comment and then I'm just like,
I ain't got
I
time.
think I'm gonna get rid of this career. I'm gonna go and be a train driver. That's the dream. Like, I love TFL, so like I really want to go.
That's
and
what
drive
you
trains.
would really do.
100%.
I do agree with you, but I think with this in skincare TikTok, that place there will make you feel like you need 12 steps for your face alone. And as I said, I'm a basic person. Take my makeup off, wash it off, do a little toner, put the cream on, go to sleep, close my eyes.
Yeah, but TikTok's also like, were you a QVC person?
My mum was,
I loved, like, what was it called? Teleshopping.
Yeah.
Me and my mum used to buy like the most random stuff. We'll be like, okay, cool, we're going to buy this like miniature sewing machine. I can sew actually. Let me speak for myself. She can't sew. But we used to buy the most random things. And I feel like TikTok in a way is that like there's a lot of money to be made from influencing. There's a lot of money to be made from being a brand and owning stuff. There's a lot of money to be made like as TikTok, the platform itself. So I think people kind of put the fact that they want to sell above like being ethical.
Yes, okay, I see you. Yes,
if
you're not
you
wrong.
think about some of the like, I would say biggest influencers in beauty, they always have something new. They rarely ever revisit things. And it's because that's what's profitable. People always want to see new things, but I feel like it's almost like slow fashion. It's not like fashionable, I guess, to repeat outfits when you're a fashion content creator. Same thing with skincare. It's not like fashionable to keep banging on about one particular product. People don't want to see you use the same thing over again. They're like, oh, we're bored. Her content's not giving. Let's go and find someone else that's talking about the new launch.
But I like when someone shows their holy grails. What are you using for a long? Because I agree with you. I don't believe someone has a new face cream every week. That is very unbelievable to me. What's really going on? I'm someone who's like, I've been using this for 6 months. I've been using it for 3 years. I'm a holy grail. What are your holy grail? What are your holy grail items?
Oh, I was actually going to make a list of like 10 things, but I really sat down and thought about it. There's not that many. I would say there's concepts that are my holy grails.
Okay, what are they?
So the concept would be I have to have a cleanser that has some type of active that deals with my acne. So I love the Kate Somerville Eradicate, the one with sulfur. Love that one down. Used it for years. And then the other, I guess this cleanser's a bit more on the gentle side, the Youth to the People.
Yes, I've heard of them.
What it's called.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, that one, I've had so many bottles. Like, I took it with me to Mexico. Both times I had to throw it away at the airport because it's a glass bottle and I was severely overpacked. But I would say those are my 2 cleanser holy grails. In terms of sunscreen, I recently found one from the brand Tokobo.
Not heard of them.
It's Korean. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. It's so lightweight that you'll forget that you're wearing sunscreen, and it's SPF 50.
50? Yeah, the big ones.
The big ones. So I fell in love with that this summer. Did that through my series. And then, for body SPF, I really liked a spray. Even though you're supposed to start with a cream, I still do love a spray moment.
Why are you supposed to start with a cream?
Because it's difficult to figure out how many like sprays you actually need. You could do the long thing, get a spoon to measure, and then actually spray it in there. But it's actually
who's doing that?
Oh, I've done it.
Sorry.
No, but it's very long. But like most people aren't going to do that.
I'm not gonna get a spoon out for my SPF.
I did that, and I'll calculate how many like sprays I need. Or if it's a stick, some people will like go over an area, and then you can just figure out, like, you can basically check. There's a way to more or less check everything. But I guess it's harder with a spray. I really like the Naked Sundays SPF 50 body spray.
Okay.
Love that one down. And then moisturizer wise, again, I found another Korean one this year from the brand Estura barrier cream. It's basic as hell. Love that one always. Like, there's other stuff that I just can't think of right now. Like, for example, love Cetraben. I will always gravitate towards Cetraben in the winter.
People need to understand.
There's some good stuff from the doctors.
Thick,
I'm sorry, it's good.
It's thick, it's huge, and it's like £12. I've been using it since I was a kid.
Exactly.
And to me, I feel like I never see like influencers and skincare influencers talking about things from the pharmacy. I never see that.
And they won't pay most people as well. Like,
okay.
They won't. So one thing that I absolutely love is Clinicet. Most estheticians, dentists, we all use that in clinic. And it's like an antibacterial for your skin. It's not sexy. So the brand Tower 28, they made like the same sort of like concept as Clinicet. So it's a spray. I can't remember what their one's called. Let me not name something that's...
So don't make things up.
Let me not make something up. But it's got the ingredient hypochlorous acid in there. So that's the same thing that's in Clinicet. They made that. People love that one down. But I'm just like, Clinicet's been around for ages. It's also significantly cheaper.
But it's
just
sexy.
not sexy. And they're not paying people either. But I won't shut up about it. I love it. Okay.
So how do you see diversity and inclusion in the skincare industry?
There's different points. In the influencing space, there'll be like the traditional brands that you probably won't see diverse people in their marketing or even behind the scenes. Anywhere really near that brand. So just don't expect it, because it probably won't change within my lifetime. So there's newer brands that will give more people a chance, showcase people a lot more. But I'm not going to lie, generally speaking, I feel like brands are still really bad for this. Like within PR, what I feel like sort of happens is a lot of people tend to look the same. So then they also pick influencers that look like them. So they feel at home and like it all makes sense in their mind, and they're forgetting like a whole different chunk of people. But that's on the front facing side. Behind the scenes, there's not that many people of color in decision making roles. I feel like, especially within the UK. For the US, obviously it's a little bit different. I feel like it's a little bit more diverse there, but like I've never really found that many like heads of in the UK that are black, to be honest with you. Like I really can't speak to any brand. Like anytime a brand brings their like their main NPD person down, I've never seen a black person, or I'm not gonna lie, I've also not seen an Asian person ever. Like not in the UK. Again, for the US it's definitely different, but just not here. We're still very like, again, behind.
with everything in life. And you know, obviously it's not to say that you need people of color to be in these roles, because everybody should be considering everybody. However, when you do have people in these roles, they know what's going on.
My thing is like, if you want to market towards everybody, your team should also look like everybody. You can't be front face and be like, we're so for everyone. We've looked all over the world and we recognize that there's so many different types of people. And then behind the scenes, I'm seeing one type of person. So that reflects really poorly for me. And that's when you start seeing a lot of slip-ups and mistakes. That's when you see people releasing 50 shade lines, and then the undertones are crazy. It's like, have you ever met a person of color? Probably not.
Yes. Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. Because I think, especially when brands do the whole 50 shades, it's like, we have 50 shades. Let's celebrate that. But when you actually go in there, I agree, the undertone is always orange.
Crazy. Or not even just that, it will be like, actually, I don't know if you ever saw this, but there have been times where swatches will be edited onto like deeper skin, or like the hand will be edited darker.
Do you know what? I believe that, because I've bought a lot of products obviously online. When they arrive, that is not the shade on the picture. Can I just say that?
I think that's also probably one of the reasons that I like don't enjoy buying makeup, because I don't enjoy shopping beauty in person. But when you buy a foundation that's 50 something pounds online and it doesn't match you, you can't take it back in the UK.
But do you know what I try and do? I always try and find someone online. Oh, but then two problems with this.
Everything looks different
And
online.
my other thing is, I actually don't think I know my skin tone.
Oh, no.
I'm like 100% sure. Like if someone was standing next to me and said we were the same skin tone, it's hard. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know what my skin tone is.
I feel my skin. The thing is, maybe? I feel a skin tone, and I'll look at this like particular brown, and I'm like, that is beautiful. That's me. And then I'll swipe it, and I'm like, that is not like anywhere close. So like that's my issue. I will see like maybe a time where I was super tan. Obviously, tanning is really bad for you, but like when I'll be super tanned, and I'm just like, girl, you are not that color anymore. So yeah, I'm awful at matching my shades.
So where do you think the skincare industry and the beauty industry, what do they need to do to be more representative of the people they serve, which is us, the consumers? We're spending the money.
They need to hire people that are like fun, new, innovative, do something different, for the love of God. There's graduates every day. People need, like, I just don't understand, because it's not like it's a lack of talent. It's a lack of, like, I guess, forward thinking and wanting to take a risk. Like a lot of big business is about taking a risk, and I just feel like we've really lost that element. Playing it safe, yeah, it will keep your income steady, but it's not going to change you into this global brand that's going to have a long-lasting legacy. Right now, it's very easy to bring out a collection of skincare and then be gone in a couple of years. Think about all the celebs that did that, made their quick money, and then they disappeared. But then there will be like household names that we have for years to come, like beyond our lifetime, that have put in the groundwork, really thought about everything. Yeah, it's a bit more of a slow burn at first, but they'll be around forever.
This is very true. And I feel like you're going to start shaking things up. I feel like right now, you're on a trajectory that's just hard to even put into words. You are...
It doesn't feel like that. Oh my God.
For lack of a better word, you're smashing it, mate.
Thank you.
You're quite literally smashing it out of the park. Do you feel that?
No, do you know what is so humbling? I think because I live at home, and unfortunately my measure of success is being able to buy a house. And I feel like until I buy a house,
we need to come away from that a little bit, because our economy, do you know what, let's not even...
Like, I'll do something and I'll be like, but you haven't bought that house, have you?
Yeah, but look what you've done. Obviously last week we had, for those who don't know, you've got Naturium Edit, went to the lunch last week. Yes. Gorgeous. Do you know how amazing that is? Do you even know that?
It feels like I have worked with Naturium. I think this is my second year on their advisory board. It feels so amazing. And again, it just comes down to that house. Like, I went home from that dinner and I was just like, let me go and check my house deposit savings and just see what it's at. Like, I will have so much fun in the moment, but I think I'm super critical of myself. And a big measure in this space sometimes is your following count. Like, I'm very aware that...
but come on.
I know.
Come on. I know. That's not real.
It isn't
It's
real.
about your engagement. It's about the community
real,
you
but
build.
where it is real is how people treat you. I'm not going to lie. People will definitely treat you a lot better with the higher following count.
Which is quite disgusting,
and it's
really.
not even just like let's say like your colleagues in the space. So like other influencers, it will be PR people. Like you will notice a difference. Like I don't go to events like really anymore. I only turn up at events of brands that I love, and I'm guaranteed that I'm going to have a good time, because most of the time you will notice that you get treated really poorly. And it's like, if I wanted to be shamed, I can call an ex. Why would I leave my house to be shamed by a brand?
It's very true. Oh God. What kind of quick advice would you give to someone who's trying to get into the skincare?
Get your qualifications, because there's so many people talking about skincare. I would say skincare right now is definitely more profitable than makeup. But I feel like you have to come with either something unique or just a wealth of education, because we've passed the days of being able to read an ingredients list and be like, oh, this is my review based on this ingredients list. We've done that. Consumers are so much smarter now. So get your qualifications, but also practice on real people.
Yes.
Speak to people, because what you do in theory is not the same thing as when you speak to people. So let's say in theory someone said that you're going to use this product every single day, twice a day. That's what the instructions say. And then I'll talk to my clients and they're like, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, okay, fine. Let's figure out how we can make your routine work for you and your lifestyle, because you're a human being and not a case study. So do that. And also just remember that you don't have to clickbait, because skincare is definitely closer to medicine than it is to makeup. I always say that.
You're not wrong there, actually.
So take it very seriously. I think honestly, it's a huge honor that people let me do stuff to their skin, because that's like your forward-facing thing that people see.
It's most important. It's the
biggest,
most makeup is actually irrelevant if your skin, if your actual skin is not popping.
Exactly.
You can't just put something on, like, because that actually stresses me out when people don't focus on skincare. Is really important, and I'm happy we're having this conversation. And I'm actually happy that skincare, the actual conversation online, is getting to where it needs to be. Because for a long time, I think when you grow up with things like acne and rashes and such thing, it feels like you're the only person.
You feel very isolated.
Exactly. Yeah, because they don't have to. People, what's that thing we used to have back in the day? Clearasil. Everyone was using Clearasil. It was calm.
That, and then what was, that one that comes on at like 5 a.m? Proactive. Yeah.
Yes.
And it'll be like, this person's been on Proactive, and I'm just like,
that was such a good advert.
You haven't.
Because they were lying.
I know you've been getting treatments. There's no way this did whatever it did for you. But like, there's so many different spaces that you can be in the skincare space. You could be a doctor. You could be an esthetician, you could be a toxicologist, you could work in regulations. There's so many different things. You just have to find something. You don't have to pick one. Do all of it if you want to, but just do it well.
That was a gorgeous piece of advice, darling. I wish someone told me that when I was 14 with acne.
No, honestly, I was doing too much when I was younger. I was definitely bad.
Same. I was doing things that I should not have been doing, but here we are. What can the people expect to see from you over the next upcoming months?
Oh, I'm going to Australia. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
What are you doing there?
Of that place. Supernova is Australian, so yeah. No, everyone forgets because I'm here. Yeah, but it's actually an Australian brand. So I will be heading out there to see all of our facilities.
Oh my gosh, so exciting.
All that stuff. So it is really exciting.
Tell the people, where can they find you for future reference?
You can find me on Instagram at alicia.lartey, and then the same thing on TikTok, alicia.lartey, and then I feel like my Twitter is clean now, but Alicia Lartey as well. And you can also read like my old archive of articles if you just search my name. Like, don't go too far and find
don't go all the way back. Do you know, can I just say something? You know, you've got bare articles. When I was Googling you, because that's my job, you got bare articles. You've gone through many hair phases, and I love them. When you were you purple or blue one time?
Purple and red this year.
Gorgeous.
Brown.
Run that back.
I can't. I honestly, it's too much maintenance. Like, I love skincare. It does not extend to hair care for me.
That's why I've got locks.
I almost did locks, but then I was like, what if I start like going like this? And I'm like, oh my God, I need to comb it out. I need to
shave it off, man. One time.
I've cut my hair off as well. My head shape is it's not great. I've been hearing
a lot about people's head shapes.
Yeah, you're never going to see mine. You're never going to see mine either. It was really bad.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. It's your girl, Kimberley Cumberbatch. It's been wonderful. We had Alicia here. Say goodbye.